All right, this particular video focuses on the part of the First Amendment that protects freedom of speech. So this is also something protected by the First Amendment. So it's important for you to take away that the First Amendment, when it relates to protecting speech, protects two types of speech. The first type of speech that it protects is what I'm doing right now, which is verbally expressing myself. This is known as pure speech. So pure speech is protected by the First Amendment. You're free to talk about like what politicians you like and you don't like, and you can like actually engage in conversation. But the First Amendment also protects speech that is not spoken, such as wearing something or some other sort of like unspoken action. This is referred to as a symbolic speech. So, for example, probably the best example actually of symbolic speech is flag burning. Back in the 1980s, the Supreme Court ruled that burning a flag is equivalent to like exercising your like political opinion. It's like the ultimate dissatisfaction of your opinion of the government. So again, free speech is both pure speech, which is spoken speech, and also protects symbolic actions as well. It's important also to note that free speech is not a 100% guaranteed protected right. There are some things that aren't protected. Advocation of violence is generally not protected. So again, court cases over American history have dealt with like what constitutes violent speech. Does violent have to just be possible, or is it like likely or imminently to occur? But generally, speech that advocates specific acts of violence is not going to be protected by the First Amendment. Additionally, speech that is knowingly false and still is spoken or written intending to damage somebody's reputation is also not protected. So when somebody engages in like writing that they know is false, but they still publish it, right? Whether it be on a blog or a website, social media account, right, magazine, newspaper, and it's intended to damage the reputation of the individual that's targeted, that's called libel. If the individual speaks that false information, and again, it's knowingly false and intending to damage somebody's character or reputation, that's called slander. Neither of these things are specifically protected by the First Amendment, but they're really hard to prove. You have to be able to prove in a court of law that the person writing or speaking knows it's false and that they're intentionally doing it to damage a person's reputation. 99 times out of 100, a celebrity that's targeted by libel or slander is not going to bother suing because it's going to draw too much attention to what they believe are false accusations to begin with. But technically, by the letter of the law, libel and slander are not protected. Okay. In terms of regulation from the government is not typically able to regulate the content of speech. However, the courts have generally allowed the government to regulate the time and the place in which the speech is like done. So, for example, if a particular group comes to Abington Township and asks for a demonstration permit, which you need, the township can't deny the group the ability to demonstrate in the community based on the content of their speech. Right? Like the township disagrees with the organization, they can't deny them a permit based on the content. However, what they can do is the township, the government, they can regulate the time and the place where they're willing to allow the group to do the demonstration. So if you see the picture here, a group of protesters that are blocking a major highway intersection, that's not protected free speech, right? They're going to be arrested because the government has the ability to regulate the time and the place of the speech. This is clearly causing a major traffic jam and a potential dangerous situation, right? So these are the general things that you should know about the First Amendment's protection of freedom of speech.